This month, we're going to talk about building a bear. And no, it's not that store that used to be in the mall where you build this really high-priced stuffed animal. We're talking about a Prusa bear. And if you don't know what a Prusa bear is, basically you take a Prusa Mark III kit and you add an aluminum extrusion frame to make it a whole lot sturdier. Let me show you a picture of one. Here's the bear project over on Thingiverse. Greg is kind of the ringleader of this whole thing. He's designed all the parts. You can do a half upgrade, you can do a full upgrade, and the frame kits are available from all 3D makers. These frame kits are made by LDO, and on top of that, now you can get all kinds of cool colors. So of course, I had to build one. So the goal here is you get all the features of a Prusa Mark III, but with some added rigidity that should make it even better than a Mark III. But why is it an interesting topic to talk about on this video? Well, the bear is designed so that you actually take a Mark III kit and then upgrade it. I can't bear to kill a Mark III kit like that. I would have to build the Mark III as it was intended. So I wanted to source all the parts for a bear build. Well, that hasn't been as easy as I thought it was going to be. So back to the computer, we can get a frame kit, no big deal. Thingiverse, you can print out all the upgraded plastic parts. That's not a huge deal either. Printed Solid has done a pretty good job about collecting a lot of the parts that go on a Mark III, so you can source a lot of your parts over there if you're in the US. All 3D makers have a handful of parts for the bear build as well if you can't find it on Printed Solid. And if you're a Prusa customer already, you can source some parts from Prusa directly, but you're going to have that high shipping cost. And even with all those sources, you're still going to have a hard time finding some parts. For instance, the filament sensor kit. You need a couple of magnets, a 7mm steel ball, and those are going to be kind of hard to find, especially if you only need one. So let me run through some of the parts and what it takes to build one of these from scratch, just to give you an idea of what we're going to have to go through here. So let's start with the frame kit. This is from all 3D makers. I got an orange one. Again, these are made by LDO. And this comes with all the hardware you need to put the frame together and all the brackets. So this kit right here does take care of a lot of the hardware that would be in a Mark III kit. Next up, you have all the printed parts. Now some of these are bear specific parts. For instance, the Z motor mounts. They have a gap in front that makes it a little easier to install. These are all available on Thingiverse, but a lot of these are going to be from the kit as well. That's not a huge issue because you probably already have a 3D printer, and these files are available from Prusa, so you can just print them out. For reference, this is Prusa Mint Orange, the same color they use on the printers. Yes, I'm going to put orange on an orange frame. And of course, printing your own parts gives you the opportunity to customize things. You know, orange juica, get it? It's orange, Prusa, okay, whatever. Then we have things like the Prusa motor set. There's 5, 2 of them have integrated lead screws. I got this one from Printed Solid, so that wasn't a huge deal. Then you're going to need a bed and some sort of spring steel sheet to print on. These are available from Printed Solid. Pretty sure LDO makes these. Not entirely sure who makes that sheet, but it should work just fine. Just note, when you order that bed, they will throw in a thermistor for a couple dollars more. Then you have things like idlers, gears, Bondtech gears for your extruder. I did get all these from Printed Solid, so it wasn't that hard to get these, but just more things you got to think of when you're trying to build something like this from scratch. LMU 88 bearings. I ended up getting these from Masumi. These are almost $5 a piece. Now again, these are higher quality bearings, but still something you got to think about. Not to mention, you'll need a hot end and some fans, some belt, an INC Rambo board, and these are just the parts that are easy to source, thanks to Dave over at Printed Solid. Now I move to looking to Prusa for some additional parts, but remember, you already have to be a Prusa customer. So the Prusa order, we got the U-bolts for connecting the bearings to the bed carriage, our filament IR sensor, some wires to connect it, and I went ahead and got the Prusa power supply so that we could have power off or zoom enabled on our bear build. And these are over $90, so we'll see if that's worth it in the long run. You could use something else if you really wanted to. And then there's the little things that you don't even think about that are in the kit, like these standoffs to mount the bed onto the Y carriage. Prusa does have these available. And one thing that I didn't think would be very hard to find, but was a full set of smooth rods. I got these directly from Prusa, but they use kind of an unusual size set, so finding them anywhere else was kind of challenging. Even things like the extruder springs. You can get those from Prusa off their site, but that's just one more thing that you have to remember that's included in that kit. Now I mentioned it before, but that IR filament sensor set with that steel ball, that's the one thing you can't get directly off Prusa's site. You could probably contact support and get one of those ordered, but there is a way around it. You can go for a kit like this. I don't know how good they are, but it does include both magnets, the steel ball, the sensor, and the cable. You can get them off of Amazon for around $12. Considering they use a 2.5mm screw that you might not have, this might be your best route. And we haven't even talked about trying to source all the screws that come in a Prusa kit. They're mostly 3mm, but they vary in a lot of different lengths. If you don't have those, it could be pretty challenging. So is it worth it to try to scratch source this Prusa Bear build and put it together? Probably not, but at the very least, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And I hope to do it together with all of you on a live stream really soon. More information to the Bear build in the description below. As always, thank you to all my Patreon supporters. These videos are just for you, and I'll see you on the next coffee break.